Okay, I'm gonna try to make this roast. It's a chuck roast, just a big hunk. I don't know, about a pound or two. And I'm gonna make it in this Instapot. I already turned this on, and I got some ghee in there, melted down, so that I'll use that. And what I'm gonna do, I preheated it so it was easy to see, but that's on high heat. I'm gonna take this. Oops, I'm going to try to do this with this camera so you can see what I'm doing. But I'm going to take this hunk of meat. I'm going to put it in here and I'm going to let it sear in there like that. How you see it? I'm going to go away for a minute. But when I come back, I'll have seared all the different sides. So I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. You can see I browned it. I did all the sides, kind of seared it a little bit. I'm going to show you, because when I first started this, I didn't show you this part, but I'm going to hit cancel. That's off. What I did was, originally I pushed saute here, and that came on, and then after a minute it got hot, and then it set on. And it would run for 30 minutes if I didn't do nothing else. But anyways, that's done. See, so you see that's what it was doing while I was letting it brown. So then what I do now is I'll cancel that, and I'm gonna do pressure cook. And I'm going an hour and 20 minutes. High pressure is what I got this set for. I'm gonna turn off the keep warm because I don't want it to keep warm when it's done. I just want it to let the pressure out. So I got a little bit of hot water here, about a cup. I'm gonna pour it in here. Watch out for the steam. A lot of steam because that was, that ghee I put in there was a little bit boily. So you can see what it's doing. It's just, it's hot. So I'm going to put the lid on this thing. And it's going to start building pressure now. And the way this thing works, let me take this thing off my head here. The way this works is this little thing here. I don't know if you can see it. It says venting, and the other side I think it says sealing. But we're going to be sealing, so I want to turn this over to here. That's going to seal. So now this thing's going to start building pressure. And when it gets pressure near that little thing right there is going to pop up. This thing will be full of steam, and then it'll start running. And that timer there will switch to a countdown from an hour and 20 minutes. So in an hour and 20 minutes, this thing's going to be completely pressure cooked. That's all it takes. It's about a pound and a half, probably roast. So I'm going to let it go for now, and I'll show you a little more in a bit. See you then. Okay, this thing just beeped at me. That means that it started the steam. See, it's at 120, an hour and 20 minutes. That little thing popped up. So this is going to start counting down all the way to 0. And when it gets down to 0, see, it went to 119. So when it gets down to 0, it'll be time for, it'll turn off. But this will still be full of steam. And it'll take about 20 minutes from there, and then that steam will be released. Then I'll show you what I do next. So I'll see you in about an hour and 20 minutes plus 20, so about an hour and 40 minutes I'll see you. Be back. Okay, so the timer just went off about 20 minutes ago. This stopped, and this button here is down now, so the pressure's released. So now I can open this without any issues. There's the meat in there. I'll show a better picture in a second. Just up here. Okay, so this is done. This is it's gonna be pretty. Yeah, you see how tender it is. Let me get this out of here and put it in this dish beside me. Okay, so I put the meat over here, that stainless bowl, and I'm going to put a plate on top, just to keep that heat, just to keep the heat in there. Okay, while I'm doing that, what I do next is I turn this back on to saute, and this is going to start what's gonna happen is that's gonna start getting real hot in there. That juice. That's just that 1 cup of water is all I put in there. There was just barely any ghee that was in there, and the meat. So that's what that flavor is. I didn't put any salt on this. This is pure meat, water, and 0 salt. And the reason I didn't put salt in it is because when I boil that down there, reduce it, it gets salty on its own just from the meat. If I would have put salt on it, it's too salty. I've tried that and it's even way too salty for me. So 0 salt, no seasonings on the meat, and that's where I'm at. So I'm gonna pause this, but I'm gonna let this come to a boil here. You can see it's getting ready to start. And I'm just gonna stir this around with a spoon until it reduces by about at least half, and then I'll come back. Okay, just a quick update. It's been about 3 minutes, but you can see how that's just kind of boiling and you know, evaporating some of the stuff, and I just kind of stir like this. I made sure any bits that were down there were broke loose, which they are. There's none. I just kind of went like, I did it like this, see? And I got everything off that might have been on there. So now it's just that water, that broth is just cooking down. You can see. I don't steam up the lens, but yeah. So I'll let you see this again when it's done in about 10 minutes or something. Be right back. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes now that this has been going, and you can see it's already starting to. There's not a whole lot of depth left in here. It's been going, so it's been 10 minutes, and let's see if you can. Let me see how that's thickened up quite a bit. I mean, it's still thin, but it's the color's thickened up. And what I like to do right here is I like to add a little butter. I got 4 tablespoons of butter. I'm not sure how much I'm going to put in here, but I'm gonna put in one at a time and stir it around and see what it looks like in here. But most likely I'll end up putting all 4 of them in there. That's a half a stick of butter. Now look how that cooled that off. That simmered it down pretty quick, just that one little piece of butter. You know, never thought about it, but I could probably warm that butter up and pour it in there, but it's alright. So anyways, I'm just going to see what I can do with this butter here. I might add a little more, but I'll let you know as soon as I get back. I'll keep checking it out. Okay, I'm back. I just only had that 1 tablespoon of butter that I put in there, so that's what I'm going to do with this for now. I'm just going to do 1, and I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, and that'll stop simmering there. And let's look back in here where I have the meat. You can see the meat right there, and this meat is pretty tender. You can see it. It'll, you know, if I can kind of collapse it like this. So I'm breaking it up just a little bit because I'm going to pour all this juice on here now. Is what I'm going to do. Okay, so this is pretty hot. I usually can grab this with 1 hand or 2 hands, but I'm going to try to do it with 1 hand, and hopefully I don't burn myself. It's pretty hot, but we'll see. Okay, now let's just pour this over this meat. See if I can get a good picture of it. I'm going to pour it all in there for now. I'll change it a little bit later, but there, that's in there. And this is hot, so I'm going to set it back down real quick. Unplug that. Okay, so now you can see this this is in here, that all that juice is getting sucked up into this right now. So I'm going to let that happen. Put this over here. Okay, so yeah, I'll let this sit for just a few minutes, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that meat out so it's not just sitting in the juice, but I'm just letting it suck the juice up for a minute. Give it a minute, and then I'll plate it, and then I'll show you what it looks like after I plate it. Okay, so this is my finished product. I took it out. There's some juice left in there, so I took it out, and you can see it's just falling apart. It's tender. It's super tender, super flavorful, fatty, just the way I like it. A lot of meat. Right here, see that big chunk of meat right there, and I don't know if you can see, but that's good and juicy. There's no spice, zero spice on this. Let me taste it. Yeah. That's soft, tender. That's really good. But that's a chuck roast. And that's how I like to do it. I got this juice I can dip it in if I want, or pour some on it, but it's juicy enough. Anyways, there you go everybody. Chuck roast for dinner. Catch you later.